Okay, welcome back. We have our model now and we're going to start looking at applying some materials and making it look more realistic. So we go to our visualize menus here and we can see materials. The first thing we want to do is open up this materials browser here. And yours may not look like this, it may look something like this box here. Normal AutoCAD, I've just dragged it to the left, I've stretched it out. You can stretch out these if you want so you can read them. Stretch out the whole thing just like any other window software. Okay, so we'll start looking at the materials. This materials library, this is a library of all the materials that come in AutoCAD, and so you can pull things from here and put them into your drawing. Like with other things in AutoCAD, you have a drawing library, which is the materials in this actual drawing, and you have the AutoCAD library, which is the materials contained in the software. You don't want every drawing to have every material, or all your drawings would be a huge file size. So we go through a library like this and we choose the materials we might need and bring them into the drawing as we need them. So I think our site here, our earth, we're going to have a grassed area at least. So I'm going to bring in some grass and I'm just going to hold down the left button and drag it, and I've got this selected, so I'm going to put it there like that. Okay, so we've applied some grass to this area here. In order to see it, if we go back to this under visualize, this drop down, now so far we've been going between 2D wireframe and hidden, switching between the two. Now we're starting to use materials. We need to use this realistic setting. So if we click that, and we can see that we've got the grass material applied. Now this is called realistic, but it's by no means photorealistic. This is very much just an approximation of our material. It's enough so that you can see the scale of any actual shaping, such as the brickwork and things, but it's not photorealistic. If you had all the photorealistic textures, it would take forever to zoom in and pan and things like that, because it would be using just so much of your computer's memory. So this approximation of a material is kind of halfway between, and it's good enough to see roughly how it will look whilst being able to actually draw as well. So we'll carry on modelling, and this building I'd like to be a brickwork building. So we'll look for our brickwork here. If we go to type and we order the menu by type, then we can find masonry, and we have lots of different types of masonry. I'm going to use a uniform, this uniform running burgundy, and I'm going to click that and drag it onto the wall, and there we go. So you can see that this, whilst not being photorealistic, it's enough to be able to edit the scale and things like that, and that's okay. That looks okay. You will get, because of the way it works, this wrapping around the top here, which doesn't look very good, but in reality you would have some kind of coping stone on there anyway. So let's carry on with our shading. For the roof, I want that to be a kind of dark grey asphalt. So I'm going to find under type, let's look at wall paint and dark grey, and for now I'm going to see what that's like. That is just a dark grey kind of wall paint texture. This foundation, well, that will be concrete, so if we order by name and go to see, we will have concrete. we go. So concrete, and drag that onto there. Now these window frames look a bit odd. So we're going to make those wood actually. So we'll type and we'll go to wood, and we'll have something like a mahogany. No gloss, solid, stained dark no gloss. Let's drag that onto there. That looks okay. Now to do them all, remember I said this is the AutoCAD library. When we drag things in, we bring them into the drawing library. So what we can do is just select similar to select all the windows, bring up the properties, and under material, the materials we've brought into the drawing will all be here, and we can just click on our mahogany and select them all. Like that. Okay. Now let's switch to another view here. Let's go to that one. We've gone underneath here. Let's go to this one. Okay, so let's have a look at these doors. Well, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to create a layer called roof, and while I'm here I'll create another one called foundation, and I'm going to turn roof off. Okay. So select the roof, and we'll put that on the roof layer, and it's giving us a warning because that's gone. Now we have access to the inside of our building. So for doors, we will probably want our door frames to be a different material. Okay, so this is a block, remember, so we need to go to our block editor, and if we bring the ash in, select all, and properties, our material is ash door. Okay, but we need to remember to change to our other layer state and put all that on ash door. Okay, close the editor, save the changes, and there we go. Now our line is still blue because you don't put materials map, but that's okay. We'll do this door now. Select all, properties, ash door. Now all our doors have changed. Now these walls, these are the standard grey. I want those to be, let's go to wall paint, a matte, and some kind of office partition, which is probably, let's go with linen white. Let's put that on both of those. Okay.